By God's grace, I will try and round up next class, hopefully by God's grace. So this should be the second to last class. My last class, which will be next class, I will try as much as possible to take questions. I'll try as much as possible to take questions. Now we've done ecology, we've dealt with animal biology, we talked about nutrition, we talked about I think reproduction. Yes. So we've done cell, we've introduced the course. So today we'll be touching one of the aspects on one of the topics we need to do before we conclude this course, which is evolution and genetics. And after which, lastly, we'll be dealing with plant biology. We're touching plant biology briefly, we're touching some aspects of plants, and after which we'll open room for questions next week, and that will be a goodbye to this course for now. And probably the next time we'll be meeting, we'll be doing zoology and botany 2 then, hopefully, if I'll be the one to take it. So a recap of last class. Ecology. We talked about ecology and we talked about nutrition. Now, what is ecology? Okay, let's do it this way. Let's do it as a question and answer kind of revision today. So I'll be using 10 minutes for my revision, after which I'll go into today's class proper. I am trying to be a bit slow because I was told I was too fast. Yes, I was fast because I needed to complete the course in a very short time. That was why I had to be very fast. So today, I hope I'll be able to cover much with the pace and with the speed I am going. So let us see how it goes. And if I don't cover too much today, that means by next week I will have to be faster than this. So if if you tap your screen, you will see this hand kind of symbol on your screen. When I ask questions and you feel like you know the answer, just tap that. I'll see it from here that you're raising up your hand. So please, who can tell us what ecology is before we move on, so that it will not just be myself talking all the time. Let me hear from the student. But please, before I unmute you, please make sure where you are is not noisy. If you're in a noisy place, leave that environment and go to a place where we can hear you and you don't disturb the class. So what is ecology? So who wants to answer the question? I need hands raised. Okay. Somebody's raising. Don't worry, you don't need to be right. Just give your own answer. You don't need to be right. If you know everything, you will not come to school. It is because you want to know. That is why you're here. So please, you don't be shy that no, I might give a wrong answer. No, give a wrong answer. We'll correct you. That's why we are here and that's why you're there. So Asemota Glory. Sorry if I didn't pronounce that well. Asemota Glory. I've unmuted you. What is ecology? Please unmute yourself and tell us what you understand by ecology. Asemota Glory, please unmute yourself. You raised your hand and tell us what you know about ecology. Okay, she is not responding. Let me see who else is raising. Okay, I think I saw someone now. All right, Cosmas Ezekiel, unmute yourself and tell us what you understand by ecology. Cosmos Ezekiel, I see your hands raised. Please unmute yourself and tell us what you understand by ecology. All right. Is it that you people don't know what ecology is, or you're just shy because you feel somebody will make jest of you? Okay. Gifts. Ugu, if I'm right. Please unmute yourself. Tell us what you understand by ecology.
Okay. Ecology is the study of organisms with their environment
Okay.
and how they interact with each other.
Thank you very much. Beautiful. That
Hello?
is ecology. Yeah, I said you're right. That is ecology. Ecology is a branch of
Thank you.
biological science that deals with the study of interacting organisms and their environment. Please, thank you, Gift, for that answer. Thank you so much. Now, my second question is, what are the components of ecology? Who can explain the component of ecology? Faith, AK, if I'm right. Yourself and tell us the components of ecology. Faith, please unmute yourself and tell us what you understand by ecology. I don't know why people are shy. You don't have to be shy. What do you understand by component of ecology? Okay, Faith is not available. I don't want to be the only one talking to our revision today will be a kind of question and answer kind of thing. So, okay, Shamsu Mohammed Belu. I can see your hands raised. Please, what are the components of ecology? Unmute yourself and tell us the components of ecology. Please unmute yourself now. Mohammed Bello Shamsu, and tell us what you understand by the components or what you heard from last class and what you actually understood as the concept of ecology. Okay, you're not there. Beautiful. So everybody is trying to avoid not being wrong, right? Okay, Wilson, Jemme, please. What are the components of ecology? Please unmute yourself as you've been unmuted from here. People should just give a try. Give it a try. Give it a try. Wilson, unmute yourself and tell us what you understand by ecology.
Good
All right,
morning,
thank you.
sir.
You're unmuted
Component,
now.
component of
Go
ecology,
on.
we have biotic factor, which is like examples bacteria, animals,
Okay.
birds, fungi, plants. Then abiotic factors, sunlight, and other stuff like that, like temperature and other stuff.
You read what I put on the slide. Can you just explain a little further? Though I'm not seeing the slide, but at least I know what's on the slide. So you actually gave me what's on the slide. Yes, you have tried. I'm not saying you're looking at the slide to say it, but at least go a little bit further to explain. What is the meaning of biotic factor? What is the meaning of abiotic factor?
Okay, biotic factors, they can be described as any living component that affects other organisms in the ecosystem.
Beautiful.
Why, why abiotic factors are non-living chemical and physical parts of the environment that affect the living and functioning of ecosystems.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
for trying. Thank you. Thank you. So we have 4 minutes more to our revision before I start the class. Who can explain nutrition in general? You can explain nutrition from the beginning to the end. The way, just a brief summary, like about 50 seconds to a minute summary um, what's it called? Of ecosystem of nutrition. Okay, Precious Abisola, please, can you answer that question? You've been unmuted.
Um, Nutrition is the science that interprets the nutrients and other substances in food. Like it includes the food intake, the way we eat, the absorption, the assimilation, and the breakdown of food, together with excretion. We have two types of nutrition, which is the autotrophic nutrition and the heterotrophic nutrition. So the autotrophic nutrition is when an organism prepare their own food and they don't depend on any other organism when they get their food directly from sunlight. We have under the autotrophic nutrition, we have the photosynthetic and the chemosynthetic. The photosynthetic nutrition is when they get their source of nutrition from the sunlight through chlorophyll, while the chemosynthetic nutrition is when they don't have access to light, but they find a place to absorb it for their nutrition. While the heterotrophic nutrition is the type of nutrition in which an organism depends on the other plant or animal for food, and they are called heterotrophs. We have three types of heterotrophic nutrition. That's the holozoic, the saprophytic, and parasitic nutrition. So the holozoic nutrition is the method in which animals take complex foods like other animals or grasses or the others. So the saprophytic nutrition is the method in which organism converts the food into simpler food and they use them as food. So saprophytic nutrition is taken by bacteria or fungi, while the parasitic nutrition is the method of nutrition in which an organism lives in or on another organism and get nutrients from them. Example are lice, ticks, and plasmodium and worms. Thank you, sir.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful. What center are you from?
Sir,
What center are you?
Oshogbo Center.
Wow, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Thank you so much. You just summarized everything I said about nutrition. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
So that is that about that. So I want to believe you all understood ecology, you all understood nutrition, you understood cell, you understood digestion. I think did we mention reproduction? I just want to believe you understood everything we've been talking about so far from the reply or from the answers I got from the audience. I see that you people have at least gone further a bit than what I taught in class. I really appreciate that. Thank you. And please, if you have not submitted your assignments, please submit it. Heaven helps those who help themselves. If you don't submit your assignment, that means your CA is gone. So please, if you have not submitted, I'm still giving you a chance to submit. Now let's go into today's class. Now today, we will be discussing a very simple topic called Introduction to Genetics and Evolution. Introduction to Genetics and Evolution. Now, we've all heard about evolution, and genetics. Now, these terms are simple. Now, when you see terms like this, don't fidget, because yes, you might have come across the term or the word, but the meaning might be so not known to you, and you feel like, this is a big word. No, most of these big words are from two or more words, either Greek or Italian, or being joined together to form an English word. But evolution is just okay. Sorry. Now I said I was going to talk about this. Before we proceed into today's class, let me briefly talk about something I missed last class, which is association among organisms. Now, association among organisms, these are how do organisms in the ecosystem, how do they interact? How do they interact with themselves? That is what is meant by association among organisms. How is my interaction, or how is my association with this person? How is my association with this animal? How is my association with the autotrophs? How is my association with this species of animal. That is what association among organisms entails. And we'll be mentioning few, we'll be explaining symbiosis, parasitism, commensalism, mutualism, and predation. Now, what is symbiosis? Symbiosis is the association between two organisms where both organisms benefit from each other. Where both organisms benefit from each other. Where both organisms benefit from each other. Now, it is the association whereby I give you this, you give me that. I do this for you, you do this for me. Now, okay, for those that stay in the hostel, probably when before this pandemic period, there are sometimes you don't have some ingredient to cook. Probably you want to cook rice, you have rice, you don't have other ingredients, and you call your friend and say, okay, I'll bring rice, you'll bring this. That's a symbiotic. That is symbiotic because both of you are gaining from each other. Example of symbiotic association is the association between cattle and cattle egret. Now, the cattle egret is that white bird that Yoruba generally call liki or what do they call it now? Yes. Now, this you see this bird with those birds with long legs. You see these birds mostly where you find cattle. What do? They pick the lice on the cattle's body, and they use that as their own mode of food, while at the same time they are helping the cattle to remove those lice from their body. Now I repeat, cattle and cattle egret. Now the cattle egret, which is the bird, picks all these lice and insects that the cattle is infected with and uses that as food. And in the cattle's case, the cattle is being free from all those lice and insect that is infecting on it. So that is a symbiotic association. That is what is meant by symbiosis. The next one is parasitism. Parasitism, as most of us we generally know, when somebody is too demanding or is always asking, you call the person a parasite. Yes, that is just the literary meaning we all give to parasitism kind of association. Now, it is a kind of association where one organism benefits and the other does not benefit. Now, example is tick or lice on dog, because the lice is feeding on the dog and the dog is not benefiting from the lice. You can have worm and the host, be it hookworm, tapeworm, and the rest. So that is parasitism. That means one is gaining, the other one is losing. The one that is feeding on the other organism is called a parasite. It's called the parasite. Now, let us move to commensalism. And the one that is being fed on in parasitism is called the host. Now, let us move to commensalism. I think I have to be a bit faster now. Let us move to commensalism. Commensalism is the kind of association where one organism benefits and the other does not benefit or not is harmed. Now, I repeat, commensalism is the kind of association where one organism benefits, but the other one does not benefit and at the same time is not harmed. Example is the remora fish and the shark. Now, the remora fish perches on the body of the shark. The shark carries the remora fish all around, relieving the remora fish of the energy to swim, one, and it also protects the remora fish because the remora fish is small. Every other bigger fish could actually feed on the remora fish, but because the remora fish is with the shark, no other fish will want to come around to eat the remora fish. So that is example of commensalism. Mutualism is more like symbiosis, but from the word mutual, there's a mutual agreement. When you do this for me, I'll do this for you. There's a mutual agreement. There is a mutual agreement. It's more or less like symbiosis, but in this case, there is a mutual agreement. I will do this, you will do this. That is commensalism. Predation is the association we see most on all these Nat Geo Wide and the rest, where you see an animal trying to pursue an animal to kill the animal. That's predation. It is an association whereby a host is trying to harm another host or is trying to feed on the host. And in predation, most times the host dies. The animal that is trying to kill or feed on the other host is called the predator, while the one that is being pursued is called the host. So in most times in predation, the host dies. So that is that about that. Today, let us move to what we have for today. Now, evolution. What is evolution? Evolution simply means change in characteristics of a species of organism over several generations. Now, all the organisms you're seeing today, they were not like this at the inception of life. Most of them were looking differently. Like where some theories of the evolution of human beings says human being evolved from the ape family. If you see the diagram that is on the slide now, you will see from, if you can see my cursor, okay, I think I can just hold on. Okay, I can use this. Now, if you see this, all right, you see that that is the first species of, or let me say, the first evolution of human. And over the years, when we're talking about generation, we're talking about years, a very long period of time. Now, I explained last week that there's difference between evolution and development. The difference is just the timing. We're talking about evolution now. Development is when a baby is being conceived and from the womb it begins to grow over 9 months, and after 9 months it's giving birth to, like that. That's development. But when you're talking about evolution, it takes a very long period of time. So from this gorilla-like or let me say ape-like kind of animal to this taller one, to this ancient caveman, to a man, to the modern man, and to the 21st century man. That is evolution. We have evolved over a long period of time. We have acquired some new characteristics that have made us better, that have made us more better than what we were in the previous generation. That is what evolution entails, and it takes a very long period of time. It takes a very span of years before evolution takes place. We are talking about hundreds, thousands of years before an organism can evolve. And evolution of organisms is unique, is distinct to a particular species. Species A differs from species B on how they evolve. Now, if species A is evolving this way, does not mean the other species will evolve that way. They have their own distinct and different way of evolving. That is what evolution means. So this diagram just explains evolution of man from first generation to the present generation. Tomorrow, we don't know, probably in the next 1,000 years to come, maybe human being will be having shorter hands or longer hands or bigger head or bigger nose. We don't know. But let nature take its place and let's see what evolution brings into place. Most of us might not be alive that time because evolution takes a very long period of time to come into manifestation. All right, on the next slide now, I'm coming. Now we have different theories of evolution. We have different theories of evolution. We have different theories of evolution. Please, I need to unmute. Sakirat Anike, please, can you hear me? Okay. Sadiyat Isyaku Aliu, please, can you hear me? Unmute yourself. Let me know if you can hear me. Okay, I think she's not. Please, coming. Now, please, Iloro Oluwatosin, please, can you hear me? Please unmute yourself.
Yes,
Iloro
I can
Oluwatosin,
hear
can you hear
you.
me? All right, thank you. Now, so many scientists have come up with different kind of evolution theories. This is what they believe has brought about evolvement of organisms into what they are today over a very long period of time. Now, two of those scientists are well known for their theories of evolution. The first one is Lamarck and the second one is Darwin. Now, Lamarck, when you're reading, you can see, you might come across Lamarckism. It means the same thing as Lamarck theory of education. Now, what does Lamarck theory of Lamarck theory of evolution, what does it imply? Lamarck theory of evolution, the first one says in evolution, during the course, in evolution, during the course of time, organisms or their components parts eventually tends to increase in size. Now, Lamarck actually used fossils. I hope you know what is called fossils. Fossils are remains of ancient organisms. Probably now, when these organisms die, they are buried one way or the other. They might not be buried the way we bury our dead now. They might just be on the ground, and over time, sand due to erosion and the rest, earth covers them up. So we have those people that are called archaeologists and paleontologists. What they do is they try to dig out all these fossils and they want to know what's up about them. Now, Lamarck now saw that the fossils they were seeing, which is the remains of ancient organisms, compared to that same species that they are seeing today, he sees that there is an increase in size. Now, let me come again. Now, if this, let me use horse as an example. Now, Lamarck's theory, this first theory explains that in the past, horses, using horses as example, horses were small, but now they are big. That is what the first evolution says. The first theory of evolution says, which says in evolution during the course of time, organisms or their component parts gradually tend to increase in size. I can't really go much further on that because of our time, but that is what it means, that in the past, organisms, species of organisms that were small, but now they are big. Now, the second one is, if an organism is in need of an organism, sooner or later it will arise. Now, in this case, he used giraffe as an example, that in the past, giraffe was a small animal with a short neck, but due to its need to feed, because probably that time, I'm just thinking now, probably that time all we have there was shrubs and grasses. We don't have trees, so they could easily feed. So now when evolution begins to come in and those trees too begins to get taller, then there's a need for giraffe to actually feed. So for this reason, he has to start stretching his neck, and due to that, it becomes an animal with a long neck. That's the explanation to the second theory of evolution, which says if an organism is in need of an organ, sooner or later it arises. The same way with all these people that go to gym. When they do it over time, you see their muscle growing, and the same way with athletes. As much as when they keep running, you see their leg become so thick. So that is what it means. The third one is the law of use and disuse. It means if an organism uses an organ frequently, the organs becomes better. And if an organism fail to use an organ over a very long period of time, then the organ weakens and probably dies. So I will not be able to really say much about that. And the last one is inheritance of acquired traits. Inheritance of acquired traits means that if an organism, due to evolution, has a characteristics. Now, these characteristics will be passed to the offspring. That is what that explains. That if the parents have these characteristics, the same characteristics will be passed to the children of that same organism. That is what the last theory of evolution by Lomax means. The first one is in evolution. During the course of time, organism or component parts gradually tend to increase. The second one is if an organism is in need of an organ, sooner or later it arises. The last one is, the third one is law of use and disuse. The last one is inheritance of characteristics of characters. Now, while reading, you might come across a word called a word called neo-Lomaxism. Neo like N-E-O, and Lomaxism like Lomaxism here. Let me move this. Neo-Lomaxism. It means that some other scientists had gone for their own research too, and they find all these things that Lomax says as his own theory. They have countered it. So some will say no, the first one is not correct because there are still some animals that will find their fossils bigger than what they are today. So that might actually cancel the first law, but that does not mean the theory is not valid. When you are listing a particular theory attached to a scientist, like you have the Lomax theory of evolution, you list its evolution. For the fact that another scientist had said no, Lomax, I don't agree with this, does not mean it is not valid. So you might see neo-Lomaxism or laws or rules that goes against what Lomax has said. That does not mean Lomax theory of evolution is wrong. So going to Darwin's theory of evolution, Darwin is a scientist that is known for evolution theory. Known for evolution theory. Yeah, I think my time is up, but I will just take extra 3 minutes to explain this before I leave. I will not be giving assignment this week, but I want to believe, please, if you have not submitted the assignment before, submit as after, today is Monday, after Wednesday, I would not be treating any assignment that comes in after that. Thank you. Now, Darwin deals with natural selection. When I mean natural selection, the involvement in these organisms, they actually occur naturally. The first one is over production or prodigality of nature. Now, every organism have this capability to reproduce as much as they want, and in this fact, it is it brings about new traits, new characters, because when a woman from a different part comes, marries a man from another part, and they come together and they give birth to a child, that child becomes a combination of the man and the father and the mother, which is another entire being. So with this recurrence over a period of time, you would have different species, and you have involvement in all these organisms. Every as time goes, all these organisms becomes better, they become stronger, they becomes more intelligent than what they were in their past life. due to time, in our next class, I will probably start from this, but just let me rush down. Now, struggle for existence. As organisms are given birth, as they are producing, as they are reproducing, the ecosystem is becoming more filled up because we have the same space and we have more number of organisms coming into those space. So we have too much organisms trying to occupy the same space that was existing before. So we have struggle for existence. Everybody wants to struggle for food, for everything. You want to struggle for sunlight. The same sunlight that was available then is still the same. That was available then is still the same sunlight that is available now. The same amount of oxygen is even reducing now. So we are struggling to live. We are struggling with everything around us. We are struggling to share what is available to every organism, because it's not only human that are available on this earth. Even plants struggle with the gas. As much as we are trying to struggle with the atmosphere, the plants too are trying to struggle with the atmosphere. The next one is the universal occurrence of variation. Like I've said in the first one, as these organisms are being given birth to, you are having different, the same species but different characters. That is why you will see 4 children of the same father and mother have different character. That is occurrence in variation. You can have one black, one light, very light, and even at that, you can have different characters. One might be so gentle, the other one might be so stubborn, and the rest and the rest. The third one is, the fourth one is survivor of the fittest. We tend to fight for food. Only the strong can live. Only those that can struggle for existence, that can fight for food, that can do everything to survive, can actually live. While the last one is natural selection. The first of natural selection, we encourage only those that have suitable variation as adaptive features to survive. Now, there are features every living organism needs to survive. The aquatic animal needs gills to breathe under the water. We need a nursery to breathe on the land, and so like that. If these organisms, if they don't have this organs, or if they don't have these adaptive features put in place, they might not continue. They might not continue evolving. It might even lead to the extinction of that organism. So that brings us to the end of this class. By next class, we'll start from Darwin's theory of evolution, so that I can explain again before I go into the last part of that course, which is plants plant biology. I want to try as much as possible to make all these handouts available to everyone. All this my slide available to everyone in the next class. I'll try as much as possible. I think this is the third slide. Hopefully, the fourth slide will be available by next class, and everything will be sent to you. So thank you, and God bless you, and stay safe. Bye.